I want to talk about Nick Sorder. We talked about a different dick. Freudian slip. Freudian slip.
A different. No,
whoops.
He's a nice.
I meant it. Nick Sorder.
Yes.
Who we talked about, I think, on a premium last year, but
Jared's got an itch for this guy because his current display name on Riverside is Nick Sordid, which is it is gentle little flick.
Well, you mentioned it when talking about Josh Balzac or whatever. You asked me, do you ever just get your claws in an idiot and you can't let go? Nick Sorder is that for me right now.
Yeah, no.
I am obsessed with this idiot because he is the new Andy Ngo.
Yeah,
I'm calling it now. Like we've talked about, we should maybe prioritize the Who the Hell episode that we want to do about Andy Ngo, just because like his star is falling and he's like, Andy Ngo is down bad. He's just like a shell of himself.
He's still in it though. He's not out.
He's not out, but it's like, if the episode's good enough, we might be able to shut the door.
Yeah. We're going in for the kill.
But Nick Sorder,
I was saying it's so good that we have a new Andy Ngo, right? Isn't that great?
Well,
Isn't that a great feeling?
Nick Sorder's the new Andy Ngo because A, he lives in America and he lives in the UK, and B, Nick still goes to things. Like he still, when things are popping off in Minneapolis, Nick still goes to Minneapolis and films himself getting screamed at. So let me give folks a quick little background on Nick Sorder. He's a boot-looking MAGA influencer. He made headlines last. I think he came up on this show last after getting into a scuffle with some anti-ICE protesters in Portland, Oregon, and then using that to whip up a fresh new moral panic about Antifa going to the White House and the Trump administration. So when he got in that scuffle, he was charged. Right, the DA's office brought some charges against him. The Trump administration offered to intervene on his behalf, and it really looks like they were able to pressure the DA's office from dropping the charges it had against Nick Sorder.
Yeah, these are like their soldiers. It's like the troops, right?
Yeah.
You can't. Once they're fighting for Trump, it doesn't matter what they did.
There's also been some reporting from Jacqueline Sweet, the reporter, and a couple other outlets. There's an active warrant in Kentucky for Nick Sorder's arrest. So he came from Kentucky, he rose up, he lives in D.C. now. But if he goes back to Kentucky, any cop who's bored can arrest him. He has a criminal history. In 2021, he was arrested for burglary. He's also been arrested for driving under the influence, menacing a police officer. And according to one police report, Nick Sorder stole a woman's dog and made sexual advances towards her during which he was violent, like slapped her around and stuff.
I was supposed to say who among us, but then it got to sexual violence and I can't really joke about the stolen dog.
I mean, this dude is a piece of shit.
He's very different from Andy Ngo, though, because Andy Ngo was always this his backstory is kind of like that he's this sort of shy, self-loathing, gay guy in Pacific Northwest with like a hard ass father who used to be like a police or something like that, right? The journalism feels like psychologically to me like a way to to assert his own control, his own look, I'm reactionary, I can be reactionary too. That's the way I have Freudian read of Andy Ngo. This is a little different. This guy seems like it's just a complete and I can see that both of those things aligning in the same way. Like if you're one of those people who just like plunges in with a camera, like chasing people for the most aggressive thing and putting yourself open to getting punched in the face, there's masochism and then there's also sadism involved, and this may be sadism in his point.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Andy's grift, it worked out because he came up, like you said, very shy, kind of quiet, reserved, but he was out there. And I think for the MAGA audience at that time, it was like, oh, this poor, helpless guy, he's just going out and trying to do reporting. He's just trying to film the protest and whatever, and they're just beating him senseless. Oh my God, these people are monsters. Where Nick Sorter is like the yin to the yang, you know, where it's like Nick Sorter comes out always just kind of with the emotional energy of like 5 Bud Lights and like half a pack of Marlboro Reds, of just like he screams back, right? Where Andy, you know, people get in his face and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing? I'm just a reporter. Oh, I'm just trying to report the fact." To the point where like Andy's like scared to leave the house now, right? Where Nick Sorter will like scream at people. One of the clips I'm going to play is when Nick was in Minneapolis. He was driving, and I guess there were some people following him, and he was holding his phone, filming outside his car window, and somebody walked up and snatched it. And he jumps out of the car, sprints at the person, and then that person hops in a car and tries to drive away. And he's hanging on to the side of the car, screaming at them, being like, "Give me my phone, give me my camera, give me my..." And this car's just like dragging his ass across the ice. He's just, and the other people that are filming that are in the car with him are just like, yeah, I guess they took his phone. Oh, they're driving away now. Completely inverse energy to Andy, which is why I think his shit works. But we just talked about it. So after this, he went on the classic conservative media tour, 1-2 punch, Fox News and InfoWars. So here's...
We're covering some of your bases there.
Yeah. So here's him on Fox. We'll start with that.
They told me that I was the person that needed to leave, that I needed to get out of this area. I'm an American citizen, born and bred here, that is being told that I'm not allowed to be in an American city. And if that's not alarming to people, I don't know what could possibly be. I mean, the fact that the thing that I did that they didn't like was that I was there with a camera. I didn't get out of my vehicle. I was recording from inside the vehicle when I ended up getting robbed. But according to the police out there, you know, a felony robbery is not enough for them to go after the perpetrator. I'm the one that had to end up leaving the area.
Just complete, like,
Lord.
Just crying. Because part of the lore here is that he called the police, and the police were like, someone took your phone? Well, that sucks.
Some observations there, because I'm hearing it and I'm not seeing his face in this case, although I know what he looks like. He sounds insane. He sounds like very, like what I was saying, like we're talking about previously, just about his whole history. He's very high strung sounding and overly intense, and you can feel it in his voice. He can't control himself. He doesn't seem like a person who can control his impulses very well. And that kind of, you can see that also in the way he interacts with the people that he films also. Another point I was going to make, which is along the lines of like Andy Ngo versus Nick Sorter or whatever. Andy Ngo, when he popped off, it was the first Trump administration, and he was a gay child of immigrants. And you hear Nick, and he is very clearly like says, I'm an American. I was born in this country, and this is how I'm being treated. He is a version that buys in more wholeheartedly into the kind of the white nationalist depiction of MAGA, whether he's conscious of that or not. I'm not calling him a white nationalist. I'm just saying the entire movement is infused with that ideology now.
Well, if you were wondering what Nick really thinks, here's what he said on InfoWars.
I mean, it's just, it could have ended much, much worse than it did. And, you know, nobody stepped in to help me. Nobody at all. They all just watched. And actually, they were cheering it on. You know, that's the sort of people that we're dealing with out here. These are people that are telling me to get off of their turf. You've got to be kidding me. These third world invaders are telling me that I got to get out of my own country.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it on the Dave Rubin episode, but I don't know that there's much space for gay conservatives in the Trump movement anymore. The dog is sick. It is rabid. It is, there's no...
It's mutating.
It's just so nasty. And Nick Sorter is nasty. He will taunt people that he films. He will get in their face. And I think Nick Sorter is better at making himself a main character than Andy Ngo was. And I thought Andy Ngo was like kind of slick about it. You know, it's his live streams early in his career were mostly outward facing, and towards the end, he would go to protests and mostly film himself, right? He tried to make himself a main character, but Andy is also just like kind of cringe and cares too much about sounding smart, where Nick is very belligerent.
Yeah, he's aggressive. He's aggressive. He's very aggressive.
So he'll go to Minneapolis, get into it with people, and then be like, "Oh my God, I had to be evacuated." Or he'll be in Minneapolis and be, interacting on X with Kyle Rittenhouse, being like there was one post he shared a picture of his phone as he was a picture of his phone while he was on the phone with Kyle Rittenhouse to supposedly talk about his security in Minneapolis.
There's the mind you'd want to talk about security with.
Yeah, Porky the Pig.
Kyle Rittenhouse to dust a radiator, but
yeah, live action recreation of Porky the Pig. Kyle Rittenhouse. And then when the police crack down on protesters, Nick Sordid will cheer for it. He has the ear of the administration for some fucking reason and will post on the administration explicitly being like, the DOJ needs to get involved. The DOJ needs this. They need this, blah, 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 blah. And then Harmeet Dillon at the DOJ will be like,
oh my God.
Awful.